So today we are going to take a look at how can we combine animation and also apply rigid body to the same object. As you can see here, I have animated the cube halfway till it touches the ground and then the rigid body physics take control. So first let me set up the scene. Let me add a plane. Make sure you apply the scale for accurate rigid body physics animation. Now it's time to add some animation to the cube. So while I am on the first frame, I will add a keyframe to the current Y and Z location of the cube. Then I will go to a later frame, and move the cube in such a way to show as if it is hitting the floor. And then again I will add keyframes to Y and Z location. To make the animation smoother, I will change the frame rate to 60 FPS. I will adjust the frame's starting point and change interpolation mode to linear to make the animation run in constant speed. Okay, I think this is fine. Now it's time to create cell fractures in the cube. For that, I will first draw some lines on the cube for reference for the cell fracturing. I am adding second new layer here because there is a bug in cell fracturing with annotation pencil which I have solved in an earlier video. You can refer that to understand. Now I will draw some lines on the surface of the cube. Now go to Object, Quick Effects and then Cell Fracture. Select Annotation Pencil. Add a collection name for the cells. And click OK. Now we have all the cells. Let me hide the original cube. Now let's select all the fragments. Go to Object, Set Origin, and set Origin to Center of Mass by Volume. This helps in calculating the physics accurately. I will delete the annotation lines as we do not need it. Now let's select all the fragments. And then select the original cube on which the animation is applied. Make sure to select the original cube at the very last. Then press Ctrl P and select Object. Here we are parenting the fragments to the original cube. And then press F3 and search, Bake Action. Then select Visual Keying and Clear Parents. What this will do is it will copy the animation from the original cube and apply it to the fragments. Now I am going to pick the frame on which the cube touches the ground. At that frame will be my end of animation frame for my cube fragments. Now 85th frame is where my animation ends, so I will delete the keyframes from 86th frame till the end. Because we don't need them, and anyways the rigid body physics is going to take care of rest of the frames. Now let's add rigid body physics to the plane. Set type to passive, and shape to mesh, as it will act as a floor. Now let's add rigid body to the cube fragments. Select the first fragment, and add rigid body to it. Now to copy the same for all fragments, select all fragments. Go to Object, Rigid Body, and click Copy from Active. This will apply rigid body to all fragments. Again, go to Object, Rigid Body, and click on Calculate Mass and select Concrete, as it will apply accurate weights to the fragments based on its size. Now comes the important part. Make sure you are on the last frame with the keyframe, which in my case is the 85th frame. Then select all the fragments, select the top fragment as active fragment, and by holding Alt, enable the animated checkbox. This enabled the checkbox for all the fragments. Now the main issue is to add a keyframe to this animated checkbox. We want to enable the animated checkbox till the 85th frame, and from 86th frame onwards we have to disable the animated checkbox for all the fragments. But the issue in Blender is that there is no shortcut to add keyframes to animated checkboxes of all the fragments at the same time. So for that we will have to take help of a Python script. We will open the text editor. Create a new empty file. And add this Python script which I have used. I will be giving this Python code below in the description of the video. This piece of code used in this video was inspired by a tutorial from another YouTube creator, uploaded a few years ago. Their explanation really helped me understand the concept better. Since then, Blender has changed quite a bit, and in this video, I'm showing a more updated, cleaner, and practical way to implement the same idea in modern Blender. I've linked their channel and original video in the description below. Huge thanks to them for sharing their knowledge with the community. So now we will make sure the pointer is on the 85th frame, till where we need the animation to have control. Keep your eye on the keyframe symbol near the dynamic and animated checkboxes. And then we will run our script. Wait for 5 seconds, and if the keyframe does not get applied, just move your mouse a bit, and the keyframes will get applied. After that, move your pointer to the next frame where your rigid body physics will take control. And then uncheck the animated checkbox. And run the script again. Select the floor plane and let me add some friction to the it, so that the fragments don't slide much. I will do the same thing with the cube fragments, increase friction to 1 fragment. And then I will copy the same setting to all fragments. Now let's check the result. Now you can see that the cube fragments are animated halfway and then the rigid body physics takes control. And that's the video, guys. Hit subscribe if you learned something today. Thank you so much for watching.